Today I'm showing you the 5 best ways to time track in Notion, because let's be honest, most Notion dashboards are not built for it. But I've time tracked my life for over a year now, and it's genuinely changed my life. So make sure you stick around for the whole video, because these 5 ways of doing it are quite different, and you'll see which one works the best for you. Subscribe for Notion tutorials, let's dive in. Alright, so this is the first option. What we're going to do is / and write data. And here we are going to click on table view. This is the easiest one by far. I'll click here on new empty data source, and I'll just say tasks here. And if you're new to databases, the rows here, so these here are rows, they are where you will write the task names, and each of them is actually a page. So task 1 here is a page, task 2 here is a page. And for all of these pages here in a database, you can have multiple properties. So there's a bunch of different properties in here. And for this one, all we'll do is simply click on number. So for this one here, you'll simply just write out the time tracking manually. So task 1 here took me 20 minutes. This one took me 60. This one took me 40. Now what you can do with number properties is right click and you can do calculate. And here you get a bunch of different options. Now you can do count, which is kind of useful. This will just tell you how many tasks that you have in this database. But the real useful things are here under more options. You can do sum, average, medium, min, max, and range. And this here can be very, very useful if you're properly labeling and categorizing your tasks. So this is the way I've set it up in Headquarters, which is my premium Notion template. You can actually see your tasks broken down by project and bucket. So it can be really useful to know the sum. So how much time have I spent in total on this project? But it can also be useful to know what's the minimum amount of time that I spend when doing a task on a specific project. Or what's the average amount of time that I spend on a task in a specific life bucket. So this here is the easiest to do, and it's the easiest one to manage because if you get something wrong, you can easily change it like that, whereas some other options today can be a bit more difficult to manage. Again, if you're interested in my all-in-one template, there's a link in the description. All right, let's have a look at the second option. For this one, we'll also create a database. So here we'll click on table view, and these different rows here are the tasks. So we have task 1 and task 2. So in the last one, we used the number property. This time we will use the date property. Now for this to work, you're going to need a specific setting on this date property. So if you click here now, you can select the day, but that's not very useful because we want to know the time involved. So to do that, we have to select here end date. And now I can see the start and end date, but this is tracking it in days. So, if we have a task that lasts a whole day, for example, which can be useful, but really what you want to do here is click on include time. So this here is where it will become useful. So most likely your tasks will last less than a day. So here what I can do is change it from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that's how to do it with the date property. You include the end date, and then you say the start, let's say 10 a.m., and the end, 2 p.m. That's how to do that. But this here isn't very useful to look at from a user interface perspective. So what we're going to do is click here to add a property, and we'll add a formula. So this will be in the description for you to copy and paste. So this formula looks confusing, but all it's saying is show me the date between the end date, so 2 p.m., and the start date, so 11 a.m., and show me that information in minutes. And then I'll click here on done. So it says here 240 mins, 120 mins. If you want, you can remove this bit here, so it doesn't say mins, and then it will just say 120. So I'll click here on done. And as you can see, it now says 240 and 120. So that is the second way to time track in Notion. All right, for option number 3 here, again, we're going to need a database. So we'll do / database, click on table view. I'll make this a new database. I'll call it tasks. And here I'll write task 1, task 2. Now this one's a bit more complicated, but I'll walk through it step by step. What you're going to do here is first add a date property. And this here will be the start date. Now we're going to click on add property. And this here will also be a date property. And this one here will be the end date. So we're going to have a start date and an end date. Now we don't want to fill these out manually. Instead, we're going to do buttons. So what we'll do is click here on add property, and this here will be this button property. Now we can't call it start because this here is already called start. So I'll call it go or something. So this button here will start the timer. Now, if I click here, nothing's going to happen. So we need to change the settings here to say impact this property here. So what I'll do is click here on the go and say edit automation. And these can be kind of scary, but don't worry, we'll walk through it. So on this go here, when this button is clicked, then what we want it to do is to edit the property of the start time. And we want that to be the time triggered. So I'll click here on time triggered. And that's the only setting that we need here. And I'll click on save. So now when I click on go, it adds the start time here of 10:41 a.m. Now what we need is the same idea here for the end column. So I'll click here on plus, and we will add a button. and this button here will be the stop button. So I'll have start and stop. And what I can do here so I don't see all of these 4 columns is actually right click and hide this column. I won't hide this one just yet so you can see how the stop is working. And right now the stop isn't doing anything. So we need to set up that automation. So I'll click here on stop, click on edit automation. And for this, what we want is edit the property of the end time. And we want that to be the time triggered. If you do the date triggered, that will be the day. So you need to ensure you're doing the time, unless you're tracking things that last multiple days. And then I'll click here on save. So now if I click on stop, it shows 10:42. So what we could do is right click here and hide this. So these columns here are being hid, but we still have them. So if I click here, you can see that information is still here. It's just being hidden in our view here. But what I now need is this information here to be shown to me as a simple number property. So what we'll do is click on plus, and we are going to have this as a formula. And you can find this formula in the description. So this here is the formula. And all this is saying is show me in minutes the difference between the end and the start. And then I'll click here on done. So I can see here 1 minute. So it's as simple as that to build a time tracker that sits amongst our task list. Now I'll just wait a minute to show you how the stop works. So now if I click on stop, it says 1 minute. So that is how to time track using this method. Now for the next method, what I'll do here is show these different properties here, the start and end, because we'll need them for the next method as well. And we can also keep this formula here. But what I'll do is delete these buttons here. So I'll right click and delete property, right click and delete property. So if you skipped ahead to see this method, go back a bit to see how to set these 3 up here. Now for this one, what we'll do is /button. So these buttons here will sit at the top of the page. Now this button here will function as a way for us to add tasks, whilst also starting this time tracker. So I'll click here on new action, and the first thing that we wanted to do is to add a page to this database here. So this database here is called tasks, which I'm sure I have a million different ones called tasks, but it's showing up here in the recents. So I'll click on that. And what we want is to automatically, when we add a page to the tasks, is to edit the property of the start and make it time triggered. Now we don't want to click on done just yet. We want to be able to actually change the task's name and add any information to it. So we'll need to click on add action, and then here click on open page. And then we need to say which page do we want opened. And that will simply be the one that we just added. So the page added. So the settings on this button is when the button is clicked, then add a page to the task database and make sure the start time gets triggered, and then open up that page in center peak. So I'll click here on done. So now when I want to add a task, I click on new task. I'll call it task 3 and I'll click away. So that timer has now started and that task 3 is sitting in here. By the way, if you want to see the most recent tasks at the top, then what you could do is sort this by the start time, and instead of having it ascending, we can have it descending. So now task 3 is showing up here at the top, and that will automatically show up at the top with this start time. Now the next thing we need is a way to stop this timer here. So now we'll create another button that stops the timer. So I'll do / and write button, and this here will be the stop timer. Now the settings here will be very different. What we want here is new action, where we are, instead of adding a page, we are editing a page. And now we have to select the data source. So the data source for this one is the tasks. So that is the name of this database here. And we don't want to edit all pages. That will be very annoying. And we will edit all of this. So instead, we want to edit where the start date is today. So where the start date is today. And then we want to click on add filter rule. And here we want where the end start date is empty. And now for this to actually register into the end date here, what we're going to say is we want to edit the property of the end date with the time triggered. That was a lot, but hopefully that makes sense. So now I'll click on done. What I'll do now is make a coffee and leave it for a few minutes. Hello. Let's click on stop timer. And now as you can see, it says 10:57 a.m. So it has been added here and it has not affected these ones down here. Personally, I believe this setup here is the most difficult, but it's still a possibility. So I wanted to show that. All right, for the last one here, I'll be using headquarters, which is my premium Notion template as the example. So what you'll want is a task database like we did in all the other ones. But this time you're going to want to see it as a calendar view. So the layout here is calendar. And when we do that, this button here appears. So I can click here on manage in calendar. So now if I add a task in here, let's just call this task 1. When I add it in here, it gets added into my Notion workspace. So this calendar here is connected to this calendar here. So if I add anything in here, it shows up in here and vice versa. If I say task 2 here and click away, task 2 shows up here at the top. And the reason it shows up here at the top and not in here is because it doesn't have a time associated with it just yet. So task 2 here just has this date. But what that allows me to do is drag this down and say when I'm going to do it, like this, or when I've done it if it's in the past. So this red line here shows me the current time. But what this Notion calendar app is doing is actually tracking the time here for me. So what I can do now is simply click on any of these tasks here, and we can add the property of this formula here. Again, this formula will be in the description. So you can copy and paste this, and all this is saying here is show me the difference between the start and the end date, and show me that in minutes. So now if I click on done, you can see it says 120 minutes from 8:15 to 10:15. And if I change anything here, so let's just drag this down like that, so 8:15 to 12, if I go back to headquarters here and click on task 2, you can see it says 225 minutes. Now seeing this information by clicking on these tasks here isn't too useful to me. So what I've done is create a time tracker page in Notion where I can see my time tracker broken down into time on bucket and time on projects. This time tracker page here in headquarters changed my life as it made my data genuinely useful. If you want to see my full tour for headquarters, including the time tracking page, then click on this video here,